Hello, the sun is out and it's doing its thing. I am here to share with you 5 things that I wish someone had told me before starting on my Mounjaro journey. Nobody tells you these things. So let's get to it. Number one. Number one is to be patient with your weight loss. I thought the weight would just melt off without much effort. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. I believe it's because I saw celebrities were losing. One day you would see them and they were, the size you're used to. And then the next time you saw them, they were super thin. And so I thought the weight loss would just melt off so quickly. Fun fact, the average person won't lose weight simply by taking the injection. You have to eat healthier and incorporate healthier foods. Now, I know some people say, oh, I ate whatever I wanted, however much I wanted, and I still lost 50 pounds. And that may be true for that person, but I don't think most people are having that experience. Some people are slow responders, or they lose the recommended 1 to 2 pounds a week. And I always thought I was a slow responder, but I'm realizing that because I'm losing 1 to 2 pounds a week on average, that is not a slow responder. So I'm actually on the right track as far as the recommended amount you're supposed to lose each week. So I'm pretty proud of that. I often have to remind myself that I'm not the person that has lost 50 pounds in 6 months. I have to go at my own pace. I am the person who has lost 9% of my body weight in 6 months. And that's great. I'll take that. If I lost 30 more pounds in 6 months, that's 60 pounds in a year. And I can honestly say I haven't achieved that much weight loss in a year in a very long time. So give your body time to adjust to the medication. Number 2, you need to eat healthier. You really should change your eating habits. I've read countless stories about those who say they didn't change the way they eat, as I mentioned earlier. These people are definitely eating less of the processed and junk food. The truth is, sometimes you just can't eat unhealthy junk food. Your body may have a reaction to it on this medication. A few months ago, I remember eating a high-fat diet. Everything was fried. I probably had fried, French fries, which are my favorite, and some sort of chicken tenders. And then afterwards, I thought, oh, I'm going to stop at Dairy Queen. And I just got a junior size, the smallest size, which I usually get for my daughter, of a Blizzard. And shortly after that, before I even got home, I wasn't feeling well on my drive home. And my stomach started hurting. I got diarrhea and I was vomiting. And I mean, it was coming out of both ends. I was feeling so terrible. It was disgusting. I just thought, wow, if indulging this way is going to cause me to feel the way I feel, then I won't do that again. There were times during that day that I thought, okay, it has passed, it has sailed on, and it was back. Finally, I took some Pepto-Bismol, which is the only time I've taken that since I've been on Mounjaro, and it worked. But I don't want to go through that experience again. Now, Eli Lilly recommends that we do change our lifestyles by incorporating a healthy diet and exercising. That's the key to success on this medication. I really believe that. I also think once you get to your goal weight, do you really want to go back to eating unhealthy? Do you really want to start all over again? Because you probably will gain weight if you're eating all those things without the medication. When you get to your goal weight and you're still eating an unhealthy diet, what are you going to do for maintenance? What are you going to do to maintain that weight loss? Unless you're planning on staying on the medication, if your insurance allows it, if you can afford to, that's great. But if you can't afford to, and if your insurance does take you off, then you're going to have to, at that point, decide to incorporate the healthy habits anyway. So for me, I just think it's better to change your habits and do it gradually over time. That may not work for everybody, and I realize that, but that is my plan. My doctor never sat down and explained, what I was going to experience, some of the side effects I would experience. She just said, eat healthy and exercise. They recommend it, and that was it. But nobody really tells you the brutal facts that you need to hear before you start the medication. This is why YouTubers like myself sharing their experience is so helpful, because a lot of times you don't hear these things. You're just getting the medication. You're told to eat healthy and exercise, and a lot of people don't really understand what that means. So that's why I've chosen to change my habits while I have a tool to help me, and that hopefully it'll cruise me right into maintenance. That brings us to number 3. The third thing I wish I had known before starting Mounjaro is to be prepared to have constipation. Nobody told me that I would have constipation and it would be a continuing, ongoing thing every week. I don't have extreme constipation at all. I may have it, 1 to 2 times a week. Compared to what I've heard, I consider that really good, but I still have it. The medication works by slowing down your digestive system, making you feel full faster. And you have to stay ahead of it. That's the number one thing I can tell you. My doctor told me not to go 2 to 3 days without taking something to get my bowels moving. Initially, I used Docalex, just the stool softener, and it didn't work as well for me. Once I did go to the restroom, it would be a little softer, but it was just, I felt like I could do better. I felt like I could get relief with a better medication. So I had been hearing Colace. So I decided to take Colace, but the stool softener, not the laxative. And that really has helped. I mean, I kid you not, when I take Colace, my stool is softer, which was my goal, but it also gets me going, and it's not the laxative. Within 12 hours, I am going to the restroom and my stool is soft. It says it doesn't have any stimulants in it, but whatever it has in it, it is working for me. So I appreciate my Colace. I also have used Mago 7. That doesn't work as well for me. I hear people swear by it. For me, it just doesn't get me moving as fast. Recently, I've incorporated fiber gummies, and I take 2 in the morning, and I try to take 2 at night. Sometimes I don't always remember to take those 2 at night, but I don't notice that they have done anything great for me either. But I'm not consistently taking 2 at night, so I probably shouldn't say that with confidence because I don't know. But I just know for me, the Colace stool softeners work the best. I've never taken Miralax, which I hear is great. I just didn't want to drink anything else. I'm drinking my electrolytes. I'm drinking a ton of water. I didn't want something else to drink. I think they have pills, and I've seen gummies, and I just haven't tried Miralax. I haven't wanted to yet. Maybe one day I'll get to the point where I will try that, but for right now, I'm just sticking to my Colace because it works for me. That brings us to number 4. Your sleep will be affected. I can't sleep through the night. I have such a hard time sleeping. And I already had a difficult time because I'm perimenopausal. But once I start taking the Mounjaro, especially around injection time, I just have a hard time staying asleep. I can fall asleep easily, but I have to get up and go to the restroom more than normal, even more than I was already going. And so that disruption, I'm just up because I have energy. I'm like, I want to be up doing something, which is really odd because no one told me that I would have trouble sleeping or, you would get this surge of energy. And I can't just lay there. I've tried to lay there and I can't. The only thing that can get me back to sleep is getting up, moving, and timing myself out. I've also heard other people say that they aren't sleeping on the medication either. So it is a side effect. I don't think it's one that's really talked about. Now, I do know some people who have sleep apnea, and I've heard that sleep apnea patients are sleeping better with Mounjaro or any of the other GLP-1s. And that makes sense. If you were already having issues sleeping and now you're losing weight, I can see where that would help you at night with sleeping. Some people have had a different experience with that. I do not have sleep apnea, so it's not having that effect for me. Hopefully you are one of the lucky ones where your sleep is not affected. If you are, I would also say get ahead of it by contacting your doctor and finding a medication or a supplement that works for you. And I would suggest the magnesium supplement, which I take. I'll put a picture up for you to see. I would also suggest melatonin. Melatonin does not really work well for me, but there are people who it works really well for. They also have teas that you can take to help with sleep. If you have a suggestion on something you take to help with sleep that I didn't mention, or even if I did mention it, please share that with us in the comment section. That would be helpful. That brings us to number 5. You will be tired. Hopefully your experience with being tired is not like my experience, because I wasn't expecting to be this tired on the medication at all. That's one symptom that my doctor never ever mentioned, and I hear it mentioned a lot in the support groups. It makes sense that you would probably be tired on this medication considering how it works. But oh my goodness, it is an experience The strange thing is I'm exhausted, and then all of a sudden I get a boost of energy, especially at night. It just hits me out of nowhere. And of course, my injection day, I feel it more Sunday. That's when I start to feel tired, and then into Monday and maybe Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, I'm kind of back to my normal self. And that makes sense because that's when the strength of the medication is starting to wean. But I was not expecting to feel tired. And I know this is what has kept me from exercising as much as I could have and should have. I'm just tired. So I'm hoping to get a handle on that in the coming months. Let's do a quick review of the 5 things I wish someone had told me before I started Mounjaro that nobody tells you. Number 1 is to be patient with your weight loss. Number 2 was you need to eat healthier. Number 3, be prepared to have constipation. Number 4, your sleep may be affected. And number 5, you will be tired. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. What is something that you wish you had known before starting Mounjaro, zepbound, or any other GLP-1? Let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section. See you in the next video. And remember, slow and steady wins the race. Just don't quit.